Anyway, so, if you couldn't tell, new beanie, I tried recording this video again, and I just ended up having to, it was way too long. Yeah, new beanie, I went to, Hawksmar show. Amazing, amazing, but I've got a package from Discogs on the way. I've got a package from Sean on the way. I want to say there's like one other possibly coming too that I probably forgot just what it is, but whatever. Point being is that I will show off everything that I got, including this, in an update, but in a separate video. Anyway, a couple days ago, I watched Wyatt's video about how he got into extreme metal, and figured let I wanted to just leave it as a comment, but it's kind of a long story, and I feel like I'd just be better, a little more eloquent at just talking. But anyway, so I pretty much popped out of the womb listening to Iron Maiden and Disturbed. That's that's basically what I popped out of the womb listening to. Um, Disturbed for the first 5 years of my life, I was like the main thing that I listened to, and I was used to calling the song "Down with Sickness." Wah. I was a special child, but yeah, I started off with that, and then my parents got Christian. They got Christianized. I'm freaking stupid, but my parents became Christian, and so they burned all of their music, that being any CDs, cassettes, and records they have had. And then my dad actually had quite a few very valuable Iron Maiden records that would probably be worth hundreds today, but whatever. They're in an ash pit somewhere now. So yeah, but then after that, my after that, my dad introduced me to Demon Hunter. Okay, so I was 5 when that happened, because yeah, I was 5 because I remember we started listening to Demon Hunter literally when the first album came out. And for years upon years, Demon Hunter was literally the only thing I would ever listen to, minus what my mom and dad put on in the car. 2004 came around, and then I believe it was Summer of Darkness released, also from Demon Hunter. And then that's also when my parents discovered Disciple, and the first Jonah 33 album is really the only one that they enjoy. And yeah, so Disciple and Jonah 33, which went from it went from new wave of British heavy metal and Disturbed to metalcore, and then down a little bit more to hard rock. And yeah, after that, then again, I just kept listening to Demon Hunter releases as they kept coming out, because I had a very shitty MP3 player at the time, and that's pretty much all I had was Demon Hunter and a little bit of Disciple on there. It was like 200 megabytes, so it wasn't very much memory. But yeah, and then past that, I started uh around 2007, and then 2008. That's when Dreamer from Haste the Day came out, which, fuck you, I think that's a good album. And An Ocean Between Us from As I Lay Dying came out, and no, I don't give a crap about what Tim did. I've made this known several times. But yeah, that's when those two albums came out, and that's when I kind of widened my repertoire a little bit. And again, those were the only like 3 bands that I consistently listened to on a day-to-day basis. I didn't really explore much outside of that. But somewhere along the line, it was 2009, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, my dad's former friend Willie, I don't know if he still talks to him or not, but his friend Willie, and I've actually made mention of Willie a couple times on the channel before, but I just couldn't remember his name like at all. So yeah, but he gives my dad a CD or burnt CD from Antester, and again, keep in mind I already thought like, oh, As Light Dying is like the hardest thing ever. You can't get harder than Has Light Dying. I was kind of special. And I was at the ripe age of 10, 11, I think. Leave me alone, I'm tired. But yeah, ripe age at 10 or 11, uh, I was listening to Antester with The Forsaken. And that's still one of my favorite black metal albums ever. It still holds up very well. And then later on down the line, they were my first introduction to extreme metal in general, and also to black metal. And then later on down the line, once I actually got this old clunker of a laptop, which the screen was shattered on it. But yeah, later on down the line, when I got that laptop, I started doing Google searches for like Christian extreme metal bands, more metalcore bands. So, Sinai Beach started being something that I listened to. Uh, Sinai Beach, I started listening to Mortification, and that's one of the only bands that I used to listen to that I can't tolerate anymore. I don't know. Scrolls of the Megalith, I believe is still okay, but I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, Mortification, Grave Declaration. It's been almost 3 years since I listened to Grave Declaration, but from what I remember, it was pretty good, like symphonic black metal almost. And yeah, I just had wanted absolutely nothing to do with anything outside of Christian themed lyrics as far as metal goes, because it was also around that time that I started listening to Alter Bridge and Shinedown too. They didn't really have a huge influence on me, but to this day, I still know every word to every song on Amaryllis and Sound of Madness. And then sometime in 2014, which I mark as probably one of the most important years for me personally. 2015's right up there too, but 2014, I went to the Carcass show that I've made mention of several times. I went to go. That's where the Surgical Steel flag is from, and that's kind of where my obsession with Surgical Steel and Carcass in general just spawned from. Uh, oh yeah, and then that little black thing right there is an exhumed mug that's shattered. But yeah, went there. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's still my favorite show that I've ever been to. Uh, and then on our way, and then the following day we went to go get Kuma's Corner because it was in November and it was Black Friday. So it was Black Friday, and we went to go get the sleep, which is our tradition every Black Fridays. We go get the sleep from Kuma's Corner. Thanksgiving on a pretzel bun. Excuse me for that burp. And on our way back to my house after we had left Kuma's, we were just driving through the city, and then earlier he was talking about the new Behemoth album. Like, it's a modern day masterpiece. It's a modern day masterpiece. And so on our way back home, which took about an hour and a half, he turned on Migwa with Hearts Towards None, which at this I could take it or leave it at the time, which I was kind of stupid of me because now that's like the second, in my opinion, the second best Migwa album. And then he turned on The Satanist. My mind was blown from that point forth. For the next 45 minutes on the way home, bliss. Just bliss. And the album actually finished, I believe, about a minute before we pulled up to my house. So the last notes of "O Father, O Saint, No Son" were ringing out on the speakers as we were pulling into my driveway. So, and yeah, so if it wasn't for the Carcass Show and Behemoth, then I wouldn't be like the band. I'd be still be obsessed, but I wouldn't be like the band hungry monster you see in front of you. I'd still be a lot of it'd still be just all Christian metal pretty much. And from the Satanist came my love for Carnifex, for Whitechapel, and then Suicide Silence, and then I started listening to Immortal. I started listening to Aborted. King Diamond too was another one. Uh, and uh, and then Dio too. Dio was also a big influence on me. But yeah, that was without that's the reason why the Satanist means that album means so much to me is because without it, I'd still be afraid to step outside of my little box. Would be I I made me intrigued and maybe want to find out what about black metal or Behemoth is so. What about that I find so interesting? And it was also that same year that I started listening to Slipknot, and Slipknot and Behemoth are my two main reasons why I'm into the music I am today. Is because I started and is because I liked Duality and Psychosocial, and then I decided to look up what did their masks look like 2014. They hadn't released their new album yet. I was like, that's kind of weird. Last album came out in what, 2008? But after 2008 or that in 2014, they had a countdown on the website. I was like, okay, time to see what this new material is like, and listen to the negative one, and that was like Slipknot's still a controversial point with me and my parents to this day. So it made me want to continuously just seek out more and more like aggressive music. And I also same point, I listening to more aggressive music by the day, and I'm also loving the crap out of Behemoth. Those two, Slipknot and Behemoth combined, are the reason why I'm into the music I am today. The reason I like Exodus, uh, Cockspur, even Carnifex, Aborted, Carcass, or not Carcass, but you get my point. And then King Diamond, Opeth. So though Slipknot and Behemoth are the reason why I'm into extreme metal, and they're the reason why I kept seeking out more and more extreme examples. Why I'm into grindcore, death grind, cattle decapitation. Uh, why I'm into Black Salice. Why I'm into Blue Das Nord. There and yeah, so that was my introduction. Pretty much started off with metalcore. My earliest memories being Disturbed and then Demon Hunter, then moved on to black metal from Ancestor, and then from there on out, after the Carcass Show, I started seeking out to broaden my horizons a little bit. So yeah, so that's the story of why I'm into extreme metal. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you don't, shove it, shove it, shove it, shove it, shove it. Yeah, okay. Peace.